Let me show you a good way to estimate your profit on your junk removal company on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis quickly before you actually do your P&L at the end of the month. So I'm going to use an average month for an example here for us. So let's say you do 100,000 in revenue and a gross profit of 50% after labor, gas, fuel, and supplies. That's a good rule of thumb. Of course, it fluctuates. That's going to leave you with $50,000 in gross profit. Then you have your overhead, which is not going to change, and you need to know this number. It's all your fixed monthly expenses. And then separately, your average ad spend that you spend on a month, which you should also know this as well. Of course, this will fluctuate, but usually you should have a good idea of about what that's going to be at every month. And then also miscellaneous, such as truck repairs, license, legal, and all that. It's another variable number, but that's about where we're at every month with that. So if you total all that together, that leaves you with $30,000 in monthly costs. So you take your $50,000 in gross profit minus your $30,000 in costs, and that gives you a net of $20,000 or 20%. So this tells you here that our break even for a company of our size is about $60,000 in revenue. That'll be $60,000 in revenue, $30,000 gross at 50%, monthly cost of $30,000 leaves you with zero profit. Then you can go up this scale here. So 80 would leave you with 10 in profit, 100 would leave you in 20, and then of course if you increase from there, you're essentially looking to make about 50% on top of whatever number you exceed over that $60,000 in revenue. Now, of course, this could definitely change because in most cases, if you have a bad month and say you only do $60,000 that month, most likely your ad spend is going to be a little bit less than a typical month, so you might not quite have to cover those $30,000 in costs. It might be a little less. And on the same note, if you do 120 or 140, a little bit above average, there's a good chance you're going to be maybe spending an extra few $1,000s in ad spend to get there. So that will change the numbers a little bit. So this is not going to be something that you use to actually figure out how much money you're making. You need a real P&L with the real numbers of all your costs and revenue for the month. But this is just a good rule of thumb. I like to really use this on more of a daily basis. So it's real easy for me to just look at the revenue for the day, say, okay, $5,000, we're going to gross around $2,500. We know our daily expenses is $1,500 with all this included. So we're going to net about $1,000. So that's just a really good, quick way for you to look at what's going on, whether it's weekly or monthly, before you actually get to sit down and do that. So you can always keep tabs. Make sure you know what's going on in your company, and if you have bad days, good days, and exactly what's happening. And good way to keep track and benchmark yourself.